Greetings and welcome to the latest episode of Preserve the 80s. This is a Sunday afternoon and I have gone to Popeyes. And before that, I went to Family Dollar, which is in Meriden. Popeyes is a bit down the road from that, on East Main Street. I was able to get some bright and early orange juice, which is something I enjoy. And we're making Frito pie for dinner tonight. I had to get some provisions there from Family Dollar. Today we have a spicy Popeyes chicken sandwich. One of these new strawberry biscuits. Apparently it's a regular Popeyes biscuit with frosting on top and strawberries infused into it. See how that goes when we get to it. There is the 8-piece butterfly shrimp, which I will open soon. A apple cinnamon pie, deep fried. And, well, there are some biscuits, but they're inside of the shrimp box. There's also a Popeyes lemonade. They make their own lemonade there. It's pretty good. Got some napkins and Creole cocktail sauce. I guess it's for the shrimp. I'm not going to use that. I don't really like cocktail sauce very much. Speaking of people not liking sauce of various types, if you've ever heard of the serial killers Otis Toole and Henry Lee Lucas, they were a serial killer pair who went across the country committing murders together, and Otis Toole would sometimes eat the people he killed. Henry Lee Lucas did not. Otis Toole would grill them up and eat them, and when asked why he did not join in the feasts, Henry Lee Lucas stated it was because he didn't like barbecue sauce. So, that's interesting. So, see stay. Shrimp and biscuits. Thought I had a fork in here. I don't. I'll have to eat the shrimp with my hand, which is a little barbaric. I apologize if that's upsetting to anyone. Excellent shrimp. Excellent shrimp. It's so good it makes my voice crack like I'm 13 again. Some lemonade. Spilled. When you go to Popeyes, it's really all about timing. You want to get the biscuits right when they're coming out, right when the butter brush goes over them. I don't know when their schedule. I don't really know what their schedule is. If I did, I'd get there at the time where that was done. You see, I was a bit late to the party. The biscuits still look good. You know, they're not cold or desiccated or anything like that, but they're not bronze in their golden butter coat of biscuit supremacy. But very good nonetheless. Popeye's chicken sandwich. Perfect as always. But you know, one thing that's not going to be perfect, nor should we ever expect it to be, is a job. I saw an article today that bothered me a bit. well, I guess I would say annoyed more than really bothered, but it was about somebody who didn't like job interviews where there are multiple rounds to the interview, and I don't really care for those either. I don't think anybody does. But it went on to, the article went on to list various other demands that this young person had for what they thought a job interview and the job itself should be. And somebody in the comments said, remember, when you're in an interview, you're the one who has all the power, not the company. And that's just balderdash. It's not true. I mean, sure, you have the power to say no and turn down an offer that they make if they want to hire you, but they have the power to say no if they don't want you there and if your demands are too excessive. Because any job that you apply to, there's going to be tens, if not hundreds, of other people who are going for that same position, and I doubt that most people applying for a job have that many companies actively recruiting them, so the applicant does not hold the power in that situation. And then you hear about these things like with the Great Resignation and such, and all these people who believe that their job owes them everything in the world and has to be perfect. It has to be something that they find fulfilling and that it just makes their day, and they're living the dream, and they just feel the job endlessly owes them, and that the corporate culture has to match their beliefs and so forth. I work at a job where it is not what I dreamed of doing as a child. When I was 10 years old, my fantasy was to be in the NBA, but obviously illness and physical limitations and just a lack of overall athletic skill prevented that from happening. So I had to go out and get a real job like most of us do. And the job that I have, I'm not ever going to become a millionaire working there. I don't get goosebumps in the morning thinking about it. I don't feel like I've changed the world every time I leave, but I have a roof over my head, clothes on my back, and food to eat, and I find that pretty fulfilling. It's called work for a reason. It's not guaranteed good times, and as soon as it's not something that is just a never-ending wellspring of joy, you walk away. And the thing is, no matter how good you are at something, there's going to be several people who are better. And if you don't like the company you work for, you don't like the job you have, you can be replaced. I'm not saying if you have an abusive work environment, a truly abusive one, or if there's a better opportunity that you shouldn't take it, but you should be grateful for the job that you have if you have one. There are people out there who would like to work and can't. There are people who are trying to find jobs and there's just nothing available, so I count myself lucky as having the job that I have, even if it's not something that personally thrills me. I'm still very lucky to have it, and I don't feel as though that my workplace should have any obligation to change its corporate culture or its political views or the things that it does to be in line with mine. In fact, the vast majority of the people I work with have political views that couldn't be any further apart from what I believe in, but they don't owe it to me to censor themselves or control their speech or change what they believe or what they talk about just to make me happy. I'm not that special, and neither is anyone else, so guess I got off topic a bit going on that tangent from Popeyes, but the point I'm trying to make is working is part of life. It's not called play, it's not called pleasure, it's called work. I mean, there are certain sacrifices you have to make if you want to live the type of lifestyle you're going for. I didn't really state that so eloquently, but basically, if you want to have the things you want in life, you have to work for them, and it's not always going to be just a barrel of monkeys. Sometimes it's going to be boring, or sometimes you might hear things that offend you, or have to deal with people who say things you don't like, but that's just how it is. I mean, quit your job if you want to, but unless you own a company, you're not bigger than the company. your employers take a chance on you and you do owe them your best performance. Unless, like I said, they actually do something abusive to you, in which case you absolutely should leave. But for most people, that's not the way it is. But enough of that. Let's get back to Popeyes. It's a very good sandwich. If you expect perfection out of yourself or others, you're going to live a lifetime of disappointment. So just have realistic expectations of the world and do your part. And if you're going to complain, save it for when you're off the clock. I mean, I complain plenty, but not when I'm on the job. And if you happen to have kids, don't be afraid to tell them no once in a while, because if you don't, they grow up to be the type of people who think that a job is just supposed to be an everlasting party and a constant boost to their ego, and that the world has to adjust to them, not that they have to adapt to the world, and it's just not good. And it's a bit scary how many people think that way, and to the young people out there who don't think that way, you have my deepest respect. You can, however, expect perfection at Popeyes. That's one place where you'll get it. Such as with the shrimp, the sandwich, the biscuits. I mean, I didn't get there at the ideal time, but that's on me. But the biscuits are still A quadruple plus biscuits, even if they're not picked up right when the butter is first brushed on there. This is good shrimp. I again apologize for the lack of flatware. I guess we'll give this dessert biscuit a try. This strawberry biscuit was $1.65. We'll see if it was worth the price of admission. Processing. It's buffering in my mind, in my opinion. What this actually reminds me of is my grandmother's strawberry shortcake. Sadly, she has been dead for quite some time. She died on May 17th, 1994, Tuesday. So she's been gone for close to 30 years, but she would make quite good strawberry shortcake. She would do the biscuits from scratch and saturate them in butter and fresh strawberries and stuff. It was quite good. And some people would have strawberry shortcake as a dessert. We would eat it as a main meal. It was quite enjoyable. This actually reminds me a lot of it. Just the handmade biscuits with, well, these are probably not handmade, but they taste like they are. With a heavy dose of butter, strawberries. It works. It tastes like joy. That is how I would describe it. Well, according to the clock on my phone, this is already running almost 15 minutes long. Or maybe that's 11. My contacts are kind of dry. I can't see too well at the moment. We'll have to put in some eye drops before I get back on the road. So I will not drag this out any further. but I guess a few things to take away from this. Popeyes is good. Their sandwiches are good. The biscuits, and their shrimp, their chicken. And these new strawberry biscuits are excellent too. And just don't be the type of person who expects too much out of the workplace, because you have to put something in if you want to get something out, and that's really all there is to that. So I will bid you farewell, and I will wish you the best for the remainder of your week. And, well, I guess that's all there is. Farewell.